Hey gang, Craig Ripley here. Welcome once again to Living Off the Slab. Now today we're going to bring you another bike review. However, this time I'm not going to focus on the style of bike that I normally do, right? I'm a touring guy, so most of the time I focus on either big touring bikes or these adventure touring bikes. But this time we're going to do something just a little bit different. We all know that for the last 30 years, the U.S. market has focused on big touring cruisers, right? Mostly those coming from Harley Davidson. But demand for those things are starting to wane, right? We baby boomers who drove the demand for these kinds of bikes, we're getting older, right? And we need to attract a new breed of rider into motorcycling. And in order to attract that new breed of rider, right, we need to focus on bikes other than big touring bikes. We need to focus on smaller bikes, like the one that I'm going to cover today. Today's victim is the XSR700, one of those great little bikes that are available in the US market. In fact, the XSR700 and the MT-07, its sibling, its more sportier sibling from Yamaha, are two of the bikes that a lot of motorcycle journalists feel are some of the best values on the market today. Once again, this test bike is brought to you by moms. They let me take it out for an hour or so and really take it through a shakedown course. Right, so if you're interested in this bike, at the end of this video, please see moms in Foxboro, Massachusetts, and of course tell them that Craig Ripley sent you. Now, I chose to ride the XSR700 over the MT-07 primarily for style reasons. Right? I like the neo-retro kind of minimalist approach to the XSR700. Now, I can see, however, that a younger person might be attracted to the more sporty, stylistic approach that is presented with the MT-07. So it really just gets down to what you like. Along with the styling differences between the two bikes, the XSR700 does have a slightly more upright riding position, again, which fits my taste a little better. Right? In addition, the XSR700 has a slightly higher seat height at 32.9 inches. The MT-07, on the other hand, its seat height is 31.7 inches. The wheelbase on the XSR700 is about 0.2 of an inch longer than the MT-07, and it outweighs its sportier sibling by 7 pounds, 410 pounds versus 403 pounds for the MT-07. So after those small differences, both bikes are equipped basically the same, right? They come with a 689cc dual overhead cam inline twin engine with 8 valves, and it's fuel injected. Right? It comes with a 41 millimeter telescopic front fork with 5.1 inches of travel, and a single rear shock with adjustable preload, again with 5.1 inches of travel. So the front brakes are dual hydraulic discs, 281 millimeters with ABS, and the rear disc is again hydraulic, 245 millimeter, again with ABS. Both bikes come with a 3.7 gallon capacity fuel tank, and they claim 58 miles per gallon, which should put your range on that tank at around 215 miles if you get the claimed miles per gallon. And finally, Yamaha claims that this engine produces 75 horsepower at about 9,000 RPM. What you don't get with the MT-07 or the XSR700, right, is traction control and driving modes, right? You get those features on the XSR900 or the MT-09, their bigger, larger siblings. The cost of the XSR700 is $84.99, whereas the cost of the MT-07 is $75.99. So you can save yourself $900 if you like the sportier version. So competition in this class would be bikes like this. Maybe the Honda CB650F that goes for $82.49. The Suzuki SV650 ABS, which goes for $74.99, or maybe the Harley Davidson Street 750, which goes for $75.99. Right, so now let's get into some riding impressions. So first of all, when I saw the bike, I thought that the seat might be a little bit small for me, right? I'm an old guy, got a little bit of a wide butt, I admit, so I didn't know if I was going to be real comfortable on this bike over the long haul. But my fears were quickly alleviated. The bike was very comfortable during the whole hour or so that I had the bike out, and I had really no problems with it whatsoever. Again, I was pretty impressed. As far as ergonomics go, I was pretty comfortable on the bike. I really didn't have any problem. However, if I was going to turn this into a long distance riding bike, I would probably have the bars raised up just a bit to give me a slightly more upright riding posture. So having a Yamaha Super Tenere, all of the controls were where I expected them to be, right? It has a single digital gauge on it, which works very well, easy to read. However, my one complaint on that would be that on a retro styled bike, you would think that maybe a dual analog tach and speedometer might be kind of cool. Right. So one of the first things I noticed about the bike was how easy it was to control the throttle. Right. On my Super Tenere and many other Yamahas that I've ridden, the throttle can be a little bit twitchy. You have to learn how to control it. Right. Well, on this bike, it had a nice, easy, smooth ramp up in power. Right. I had no problem controlling it right from the get-go, and I don't think any younger or entry-level rider would have a problem either. Now, even though the throttle was very easy to control, it also gave you a lot of power when you needed it, right? If you really cranked on it, the bike got up and moved. It was not lacking for power at all in this size of a motorcycle. Now, this bike was very nimble, very quick, right? For me, I'm riding a 600-pound motorcycle in my Tenere, so I'm used to giving a certain amount of bar pressure and a certain body lean amount to get my bike to hit the apex of the corners when I want it to. Right? Well, if I did the same thing with this bike, man, it just moved really quickly. So I had to learn to tone it down just slightly, right, to get the bike to go where I wanted it to. But once I did that, man, it is quick, it is sharp, it is a lot of fun. Now, I think if most of the guys my age were honest with ourselves, right, we would probably be better off riding a bike this size, right? Most of us choose these huge 800, 900-pound behemoth cruisers, right? But I guarantee you, after riding the bike like this, right, if most of us moved over to a smaller bike, we would take that badass scowl that we have on our cruisers and it would turn it into a huge grin, man. This bike is just so much fun. All right, so let's take a minute now to get a little bit picky. Right. One thing I did notice about this bike is it does have a tendency to be a little buzzy. If you really let the RPMs go, then the bike, you can feel it, right? It hums along pretty well. It was nothing that was obnoxious or obtrusive, but you definitely know that you're on a smaller motorcycle. Now, another thing, I found that the position of the hand controls and the mirrors, well, they weren't quite to my liking. I just had a hard time. I never could get the mirror to be adjusted properly in the position that it was on the bar. Right. Also, I found that both sides of the hand controls were sticking out just way too flat for my tastes. But these are items that are easily remedied with a small wrench, and you can bend them down and put them where you need them. Now, while Yamaha does tout the brakes on these bikes, for my taste, I found them to be a little bit lacking. Right? I did a little bit of a quick stop on the bike and wished I had a little bit more brake there. Right? Again, it wasn't bad. It's nothing that's going to get you in trouble, but just for my taste, I would have liked to seen just a tad bit more brake. Now, on the other hand, if I worked with this bike and I practiced, I probably could get the bike to stop a lot shorter than I was able to on the one try that I did. So I probably should give it another shot on the brakes. So summing all this up, I really like this bike. It is a ton of fun. It's very well made, gives you a lot of performance for the money. Now, while I really like this neo-retro styling, I understand that some might not. So you have the MT-07 available, again, for $900 less. And after I was done riding the bike, I took a walk down into Mom's warehouse and I found a 2017 FZ07, which was the name of the bike last year, right? And it was at $64.99. I mean, just very low mileage. And this bike came with a Corbin seat, an Akrapovic exhaust, and had some cool little cafe racer bar end mirrors on it. Right, so it even had me thinking. So if you're interested in any of these bikes, the XSR700, the MT-07, or that FZ07 that's sitting down in Mom's warehouse, please, if you're in the New England area, go see Mom's and tell them that Craig Ripley sent you. They'll take care of you. Thank you to everyone who helps support this channel in whatever way you choose to do so. Right, there are several listed in the description of this video, and you'll see some in the end credits here as well. And if you want more content, well, consider becoming a Slab Insider. All right, thanks guys. Ride safe out there. We'll see you on the road. So thanks for watching, and if you like what you see, please consider supporting this channel. In the description of this video, you'll find several ways in which you can help to support the channel and keep these videos coming. Just pick the ones that make most sense to you. Whatever it is, we greatly appreciate all the help. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.